Richard Rehme, and I'm the owner of Intelligent Office in Sandy Springs and Roswell, Georgia. I worked in corporate America for 20 years and it was good work, I enjoyed it, but eventually I got to the point where I wanted something different. My background's in accounting and finance, and I'll be honest, I think generally people in that industry tend to be pretty risk averse. I'm the same way. So while I always like the idea of being an entrepreneur, I wasn't ready to take on all the risk that it takes to become a business owner myself or to start a business myself. Franchising affords me the capability of doing that in a path that's already been proven. The biggest advantage of being an Intelligent Office franchisee to me is the other franchisees, the network of people who are very, very experienced in doing this work. Yeah, I mean, Intelligent Office provides three basic categories of services, right? The ones that we're most familiar with are traditional office space, right? We're called Intelligent Office because we have office spaces, we have meeting spaces, and we have workspaces, and those are available for people to rent by the day or by the month or even by the hour. Second is really address services. We provide professional address services, a way for the new or small business owner to look more professional because they can use a nice Class A office address. It's also a way for them to hide the fact that they might work from home or they don't necessarily want their clientele knowing where they live. That's a really valuable thing. Third, and the thing we do the most at Intelligent Office that really differentiates us from all other people in our industry is that we answer phone calls. We answer calls for clients, whether they take advantage of any of those other services or not. We will answer their calls, we'll screen them, we'll answer questions, we'll schedule appointments, we'll make outbound calls, whatever they need us to do. It's really a much more affordable way for them to have that work done than to hire a staff person to do it themselves. One of the things that I love the most about an Intelligent Office franchise is that the hours that we work during are strictly during the business week. In my past life, you work the hours required by the job and your boss told you when to be at work. With Intelligent Office, I set the hours. We work 8:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. I don't have to work on the weekends, I don't have to work after hours, and my staff doesn't either, and that makes it easier to attract staff. Our phone clients are particularly interesting. They tend to fall into two large categories of businesses. White-collar businesses especially, like attorneys and counselors, CPAs, people whose time is really too valuable to answer their own phone calls, tend to be very good clients for Intelligent Office. But as well as businesses like blue-collar businesses like home trades, plumbers, roofers, electricians, landscapers. Those are type of companies whose, if their phone calls aren't answered immediately, they will lose that business to another company. And so it's vitally important that those businesses get their phone calls answered, get their appointments scheduled, and get on with their day. The perfect client for us would be somebody like a plumber. If you think about having a leaky sink at your house, you would look up a plumber on the internet and you would call them. But if that plumber's voicemail picks up your call, you're probably not going to leave a message. You're going to call the next plumber. But if that call comes to us and we say, "Oh, thank you for calling Steve's Plumbing. This is Richard. How may I help you?" "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, you're in Midtown? Oh, okay. Well, it looks like we could be there at 2 o'clock. Will that work for you?" "Great. Let me send somebody out we'll see you at 2 o'clock. Let me get some information from you and we'll see you at 2 o'clock, right? So now Frank, the plumber, who probably isn't very good at talking on the phone anyway, doesn't have to call that person back. He just goes to that next appointment and he captures that piece of business that he would have lost.